that. What's up? This is Justin for gunslinger861's channel, and with keeping up the theme of my last two videos, I'm going to cover more from unearthed films. Now, over the next couple days, I'm going to be covering the guinea pig series, but I'm going to be going over them chronologically by DVD, not necessarily by episode. So I'm going to start off obviously with Devil's Experiment, Android of Notre Dame DVD. Now, to start things off, I remember hearing about guinea pig when I was about the same time I heard about Aftermath, in fact, the same site, and I was real intrigued by this film. And then when I started reading more of the history about it and the notoriety of it, it became like an urban legend. Like, wow, you got a copy of Guinea Pig, you know, it's crazy. And then, you know, after a while, I figured this is probably one I'll never run into, you know, maybe perchance, but not likely. Then Unearthed Films comes out with legit, the first, probably actually the only legit DVD release of Guinea Pig in the United States. And that would be the double feature of the Android of Notre Dame and Devil's Experiment. And I have to say, this whole series I was really impressed with. I actually found a lot of these films very entertaining. Really over the top, extremely gory, but not as disturbing and perverse as like Yamanouchi or Anaru or the All Night Long movies. But then again, for me, blood and guts doesn't necessarily scare me. It's more what disturbs me, and you know, these didn't really disturb me. But I digress. Start with the Devil's Experiment. Now, of all the guinea pig films I've seen, this easily is the most boring. This is the first film made. This was this and Flower, Flesh and Blood, which I'll cover later, were the only two not to be originally released by GHV, Japan Home Video. And these are actually supposed to be like simulated snuff films, and then when they were released in the 80s, they're supposed to be like the worst. But I'm not gonna lie, Devil's Experiment was really boring. It was hard to watch, only in the fact that I had trouble staying awake during it. And I actually watched on several occasions, and it's always the same thing. I get very bored with it. Basically, the film is 30 minutes of a woman getting tortured, but it's all, to me, most of it's very fake looking. It's very tedious. It's kind of the same thing over and over and over again. There's not a lot of point to it, other than to shock, which for me it didn't do. Not to say anything bad with the entire series, but this for me is the weakest entry, hands down. I honestly enjoyed Devil Doctor Woman more than I enjoyed this film. Like one part where they're pretending just to hit her and just hit her over and over again. You can actually see his hand like that, go like that, and then pull away from her. It makes no contact whatsoever, which I guess is good because you really don't want to see a woman get beat, but it's a clear flaw in the film, and it just throws everything off. But you know, it's not all bad. The special effects were pretty good. The eye scene, I will admit, did make me cringe the first time I saw it. In fact, there's an interesting story. Stephen Biro, who owns Unearthed Films and was, you know, had the guts to put this film out, was showing this said he was showing this at Dragon Con. I forget what year it was, but the guys from Guar were at the table right across from him, and I think it was Odorist Youngest who said, "What the hell is that?" And he told him what it was. He goes, "Can you maybe turn the monitors a bit, because we're gonna be here all weekend." So it kind of freaked them out, which is cool. And it's a great story because I love Guar, and you know, Unearthed Films is great too. But I'm getting off the point here. This, as weak as it was, the special effects were pretty good. It did have a very grainy feel to it, a very grimy feel to it. But all in all, it just didn't live up to my expectations. It didn't do for me nearly what Flower, Flesh and Blood, or Mermaid in the Manhole, or even He Never Dies did. So this one was the only letdown in the series for me. But like I said, It's only my opinion. It's only what I have to say. If you really want to know, go out and watch it. Go out and buy the film. Go out and see it. You know. Next one on the DVD is Android Notre Dame. I really like this one actually. This was it wasn't the first one I saw, first Game Big film I saw, but it's close. I think it was about second or third. I'm not sure. It was basically this small midget doctor is trying to find a cure for his sister, who's dying of some kind of heart condition. He's working with trying to reanimate corpses, things like that, trying to figure out a way to keep her alive. He's got a bit of an incestuous thing towards her, which I found really creepy. Nothing's really shown, but it's still it's more or less implied. Anyways, he's working on it, you know, doing all kind of bizarre things, you know, science experiments, and this guy comes in who basically wants to steal his work. So the doctor, you know, who by now is going to let nothing get in his way, basically chops the guy down to, hooks his head up to a machine, and he's just a head that controls a lever, or controls it with his mind. And of course that all goes wrong, and he ends up like green shit starts flying out of him, and he strangles his girlfriend with it. And you know, as per all good horror films, the successful experiment goes just completely off. But anyways, he finds a way to take care of his sister, but she says, basically says, why'd you bring me back? I was happy. I was happy being dead. And then she dies. And then basically at the end we see him as an old man with what I'm assuming is leads hooked up to her brain. So that in itself is a little disturbing, because if you really think about what it'd be like to be conscious with no sensory whatsoever, sight, sound, touch, taste, none of your five senses whatsoever, to be trapped in your own mind that's gotta be like a living hell. I can't imagine that. So I actually like this one a lot better than I like Android Notre Dame a lot better than The Devil's Experiment. I thought this one was it was more, it's a story. It's not, see, they're not all, like, some people think all these films are like fake snuff films. It's not true. There's only 2 of them. The rest are pretty much story driven. And I thought this was pretty cool. I thought it was a good sci-fi story. It kind of had a Frankenstein thing with just a dab of incest, I guess, but it was cool. I really enjoyed this film. As for the DVD is pretty much bare bones, but this being the first DVD from Unearthed, you know, and being, you know, a legit copy of Guinea Pig, who can really complain? Honestly, it's not a big deal. You get 2 movies that no one would think would ever been on American DVD, you know, without bootlegging. The only thing that sucks is they're out of print now, and they're not coming back. I guess a lot of the actors who did these films in the 80s are big names now in Japan, are paying good money to keep these films buried. It's kind of like when a big celebrity did a porno before they came big. This is theirs. This is their big skeleton in the closet, which sucks because I really enjoyed these films, as did a lot of people. So I guess I'm happy I got to see them. That was cool. I wish I could get my hands back on them again, but unfortunately I had to sell a couple of my copies because you know, you run into financial troubles, and you know, when it comes down to it, what's more important, your horror collection or your kid getting Christmas presents? So you know, it's a no-brainer. But anyways, I definitely recommend these 2. I only recommend Devil's Experiment on the grounds that you want to see all of them. Other than it's not that good, I recommend going with Android Notre Dame. But again, that's all opinion. If you can go out and see these films, go out and see them. Don't take my word for it. Well, that's it. I'm going to bed. Good night.